Hey there, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Musa Jallo, and in today's video, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. We're gonna be reacting to a video from Tayo Aina, and the video we're gonna be reacting to is about business. We're gonna be reacting to a 22 years of Kenyan dropout building Botswana biggest farm. That is like so crazy that at the age of 22, you're building like a biggest farm in the whole country. Even though I know like Botswana is not the biggest country in terms of population, but still though at the age of 22 you have been the biggest fan. That is like so crazy. But with no further delay, let's get into the reaction.
If our brothers could stop looking at the outside as the gateway to success, I don't think there's anything better than this land that we're in. It's literally the land of milk and honey.
This is Isaac Kasonde, a 22-year-old entrepreneur who owns one of Botswana's largest farms.
So you use 2,500 to make 18,000.
Ooh, this one just gave birth.
In today's video, it takes us on a journey of how he plans to build one of the largest farming companies in Africa.
Oh, so you didn't go to uni?
I didn't go to uni, no. I come here every day.
Every single day?
Every single day.
What's up guys, how are you doing today? It's Tayo Aino here again, and I'm currently in Gaborone, Botswana, and beside me is Isaac, who is the founder of Wealth Park, which is an agricultural and farming company. So what's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing? Nice to have you here.
How old are you, by the way, if I may ask?
I'm 22 at the moment.
You're 22? You're 22?
Yes.
This is like really so impressive being at the age of 22 and you have achieved all this, but like they sell something a little bit in the intro that like I don't really like people pushing the narrative. I know like Africa is like the future. Africa is like where we need to be. We all need to go back to Africa and develop Africa. But like for most people living in Africa, including myself when I was living there, right? Like right now, me having lived in Norway for quite some times now, and based on like the access I have to capitals, when I was in Africa, I didn't have those same access to capital. So like if you're not from like a really rich family in Africa, it's like really so difficult for you to like be in Africa and make it in Africa. Like I know people do it, right? But it's not the case. And like this guy, I don't know much about him, right? Kasonde, I think that's his name. I don't know much about him, right? But I can guarantee you, he's not just like from a normal African family. Like probably like his family, they are from like the upper middle class family. Like I can guarantee you that. Because like starting in Africa is like really so difficult for most people. That's why people come to Europe. That's why people goes to America, like work for sometimes and try to go back to Africa. But I don't like people trying to like shame people who like cannot make it in Africa. The only way they see for themselves out is to go to Europe. Like that's my 2 cents. I know like people make it in Africa still. I'm not denying the fact. But my point is like it's much more easier for you to come and work for like maybe 5-10 years in Europe, save money and go back home and start like a really good business than you making it in Africa sometimes. That's at least that's what I believe in.
Are you serious?
I finished school in 2018. University was definitely not planned.
Oh, so you didn't go to uni?
I didn't go to uni, no.
Oh, wow.
So moment that finished, sat down with my parents. I'm like, let me just enter the family businesses.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, we'll give you a chance. And they said, okay, find something to do. And then luckily Botswana just got the vegetable ban.
Botswana and Namibia banned the import of several types of South African fruits and vegetables.
Oh, wow.
So the moment it ended, I decided to go into farming. And then I just decided that, yeah, this is going to be my home now.
What's the size of this land that we're currently on now?
Currently we're on 10 hectares right now.
10 hectares?
Yes, 10 hectares.
Not acres, hectares.
Hectares, yes.
That is a big land though. 10 hectares. If I'm not mistaken, I think like every hectare I think is like 2 point something acres. I'm not really sure, I forgot. I don't really remember the measurement, but I know like you can have like more than I think 2 to 5 acres in a hectare, But that's crazy.
How did you get started getting the land?
Well, for me, very fortunate. I have very loving parents. They really saw the vision. They told me put it on paper. I put it on paper, gave them a proposal, and they were happy with it.
This is exactly my point I was trying to make. Most people parents don't have the resources to like go and buy the land just like this from the beginning. Like go and buy like 10 hectares of land to start a farm. I'm not shaming this guy. I'm not saying it's bad in a way of form. It's good. If your parents can afford to help you, let them help you. But that's not what I'm saying. I mean like the idea of like shaming people like who try to go overseas to like make a better life for themselves. That's why it doesn't make sense for me, because like if you don't have the resources like this guy family, then it becomes really hard for you to like really make it, because like believe it or not, you need money to make money, that's just like the fact of life.
Can you just give us the process of starting a farm?
I think first and foremost, you need to decide what you like.
Okay.
There's crops, there's animals. So I think first thing first, you should decide what you're willing to fight for. So whether it will be in the vegetables or in the animals, you have to go in and understand the market. So basically, you have to do your research. So what I did was I went to supermarket. I asked them what they're missing. So I also created relationships with the people in the supermarket.
Okay.
So even prior to me starting the farm, I used to call them all the time just to inquire. They're really friendly people, by the way. So you just go, you inquire, and they will literally tell you everything they need to know, because at the end of the day, they're also in need of vegetables.
This like really so important. Like before you start a business, you always have to do your market research. That's why it doesn't make sense for me. Like for example, if you're in Europe, right? For example, because me, I live here, I live in Norway. So I like to give example in my own situation. Like if I live in Norway right now, I don't like to go and open a business back home in my country, I'm not on the ground. I don't know what the market look like. I don't know what's the market demand for the product I want to sell, or like import or export and stuff like that. I don't know any of those things, So it doesn't make sense for me to go and start a business while I'm not there, Like what this guy is doing is like really, really so. It seems so common in the beginning, but it's like really so important, Like go and get your market demand, Even go and make contact with people, go sign contract, Before you even like start producing the product, you already have the market for you to sell your product, That is like really so important, Like, but many people when they start in businesses, they just go and like start before making that market research and like knowing if there's demand for that product they want to sell,
Can you explain what this is and what happens here?
This is a net shade. It's on half a hectare. It's 100 meters by 50 meters.
Is this lettuce or what's this?
This right here is spinach.
Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh wow, this is nice.
So this is just the beginning stages of the spinach.
Okay.
Here they are about 4 to 6 weeks old. And then this is fully mature. This is what I'm currently supplying in the shops at the moment.
Was this difficult to set up?
No, definitely you need to work with the right people. But I worked with some very lovely people. They managed to set up everything for me within the time frame that they set out, and it was all very professional. Everything was local.
Whenever I'm going to start a business in Africa, like we are going a little bit off topic here, I really want to do farming, right? But the thing is, like me being from West Africa, if you don't know, I'm from Sierra Leone originally, Like me being from Sierra Leone, I feel like we don't have this kind of an infrastructure there to like start businesses like that, Like you don't have like the people with the skills and the expertise, and like people are so used to like importing things, So even if you start like farming, like imagine like if you're doing livestock, right? I don't know if people want to buy from you because they'd rather just import it because it might be cheaper, So like that's why like my partner is from Uganda. That's why I'm like thinking like maybe in the future, maybe I can go and start like farming in Uganda, because farming is like really big in East Africa, Because imagine you have a farm of like chickens, you have goat, you have like you're growing habaneros pepper, you're growing things like cabbage. That could be really good, like and like trust me, man, there is a lot of money in agriculture, But like when I was going to school back home, but like people used to make it feel like if you're a farmer, then you're like really so poor, And that's like a really, really that's like the most untrue thing ever, Like farming, that's where people make money, Because guess what, if there is an economic downturn, people have to eat. If there is a financial crisis, people have to eat, If there is war, people have to eat, Anything that is happening, people still have to eat, So like farming, if you have the money and the resources, like I feel like everybody should get into farming,
What are the functions of this net?
In Botswana, we have very hot climate. Basically what this net does, it keeps the plants cool so that they don't get burnt.
Why did you decide to go into this business?
First and foremost, I come from a very huge farming background.
Oh, okay.
My mother's Kenyan, my dad is Zambian. Back in Kenya, we are very big farmers.
That's why his accent is like you have both that East African and Southern African accent, Yeah, now it makes sense to me,
It is basically what my mom, what took her to school,
Oh, wow.
what afforded her all the things. Same thing with my dad also in Zambia. My Zambian side, they did more cattle and stuff. Then back home in Kenya, we did a lot of maize and grain crops, yeah.
How lucrative is farming? Let's talk a little bit about money now.
Yeah, farming can be very lucrative if your quality meets the standards. For you, of course, to, get the big bucks and, be someone recognized, you need to have great quality and you need to be on top of your game in terms of also your consistency. So when it comes to being lucrative, just depends on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is like so true. Like farming can be very lucrative. And that because like I'm really seriously considering. Because like sometimes like I love being I'm a Norwegian citizen. Oh, that I love it. But sometimes I feel like it's just too slow for me. Like I feel like no, it's like way too slow. But like sometimes like when I think about it, I just want to like go back to Africa and like start a farm and like continue working from there. But like it's crazy. Like farming could be really lucrative. Like especially like I know like livestocks. Like when it comes to like chicken. If you're making chicken for like meat and you're making chicken like you having like the layers chicken for eggs. You having like livestocks like goats, cow. People who eat pig and stuff like that. It could be like really lucrative. Like, but it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I think they have their own challenges and stuff like that. But when it comes to being lucrative, if you know what you are doing, you acquire the right skills, you have the right people working with you, it could be very lucrative.
Depending on how our week is, if we're slaughtering chicken, if we're harvesting, just depends on our week, how our orders are like. And then that's how we usually work. So the week before I'll do the orders and make all the orders, and then we'll sit down with my guys and we'll tell them, okay, we need to do 1, 2, 3 by this time, and so far so good.
Is this going to be replicated across the rest of the land?
Definitely.
Okay.
I have big plans for expansion, but that will also come with time and also my skill level. I'm still learning a lot.
You're still learning a lot?
Because prior to all this, it was just me and Google. Now it's me and ChatGPT.
I really like the fact that he recognized like even though he's like doing quite a lot than most people, but he still like realized that there is still more I need to learn. There's still more I can do to learn. Because like if you have the kind of a mindset when it comes to business, you're always gonna do well, because you're always gonna have this mindset like, I need to get better, I need to learn, And like ChatGPT, if you don't know about it, start using it. If you study it, it's gonna help you with your schools, If you're studying like engineering, math, like social sciences, whatever you study, if you don't know about ChatGPT, you should like start using it because it will like really save you so much time and energy,
ChatGPT is a computer program that will write whatever you want quickly and convincingly.
Oh, use ChatGPT. AI. Oh, cool.
This is where I do all my storage. When I do my packaging, this is where I do all my packaging.
This one's now they are.
Yeah, no, these are for you guys when you're.
Oh, you bought?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, so this is how I sell my product.
So like this is like how much?
Depending on where you are, it's between 5 to 10 pula.
So like averagely, how much do they
Wow, the price is not that bad actually, It's not that bad,
sell this in the supermarket?
Between 5 and 6 pula. I sell it to them for about 3 to 4 pula.
3 to 4 pula.
Yeah.
Okay. So
depending on the demand. So of course, with the more quantity, the price goes down.
Goes down. Yeah.
So
True.
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the business itself. If you were to do a session of planting and a session of harvest, what's the markup? Can you just give us some numbers?
Basically, when we have a season of planting, what we're looking at is our seed, our fertilizer, and our labor involved. Usually that varies depending on the crop.
Okay.
Some crops take longer, some crops take shorter. So I can just give an example with chilies.
Okay.
Chilies for the whole season, they do 2 per crop. And I planted about 8,000 crops.
And how much do they sell a kilogram?
A kilogram right now, depending also on the chili, ranges from 15 to 40 pula.
So if you invested, let's say, like $100 on seeds and all of that, I'm just trying to get an idea of like the markup.
Like I said, what you call this, the 8,000, if I can just multiply the 8,000 by, let's say the 2.
Okay.
So that's worst case scenario.
Oh, that's 16,000.
Yeah, that's 16,000.
And how much was used to buy those 8,000 seeds?
I used about 2,500 pula.
So you used 2,500 to make almost around 16 to 18,000.
That is like so crazy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like the markup is like so crazy, And like this guy right now is doing like this thing, but he's not going on like on industrial level, Because like if you use like $200 to get like $1,500, imagine like if you start like reducing his cost of labor, Imagine like if you like apply like the concept of economy of skills. Instead of him planting like 8,000 seeds, he plant like maybe 100,000 seeds. So imagine that. That is like so crazy when it comes to farming. Like I don't know. I don't even know why I'm even like debating myself sometimes. Like because I really feel like it's a good idea, but it's like, oh, now it's like safe, now it's comfortable. You have a good job here. And all that. But like farming, of course, in the beginning, it's a lot of risk. But like the money is crazy. If you're just looking at the money, it's really crazy.
Yeah, 16 to 18,000. Wow. So this is where I keep all my cows. This is where I keep all my pigs and my chickens.
But where are the cows now?
Right now they're crazy.
Okay, you let them out.
Yeah, I let them out.
Oh,
They're
wow.
crazy. Yeah.
What's like the vision for you?
I just want to perfect my craft so that when I do decide to get into the market seriously,
Yeah.
I have something to stand on in terms of the quality of my work.
When you say get into the market serious, you mean like expand?
Yeah, expand properly.
Do you see something like in the next 5 years, like it's going to be big?
I see myself going into grains in the future. That's called dry arable farming. So it's like where you have huge piece of land and you just plant one crop, and then you would need the huge tractors with the combine harvesters. Then you'd store your produce in silos. So that's where I want to see myself growing.
Is that where the real money is made? Yeah. That's where
Actually, like most of the farms that you see in Europe, that's how they are. They are Muslim monoculture. They like have just one crop, and then like they like just produce that. But like that is like good also, but I feel like it's also like risky because you put like all your egg in one basket. Literally. Like if there is an outbreak on your farm like of a disease that kill all your crops, then you have like nothing to fall back on. So like for me, I kind of feel like when it comes to like crop farming, I feel like it's much better of like mixed farming than you having just a monoculture plant. You just have like one type of plant and you just do that. I rather have like a little bit of maize. No, not maize. Maize is Norwegian. Like I rather have a little bit of maize. I have like already a little bit of like chili pepper. I have like some cabbage. I have some animals and I have some livestock. I know then it become like harder to manage because there's like so many things going on. But also like you're gonna have in that section, you're gonna have like a cash cows, the things that really make you money, and then you're gonna have the other things that is there to help the farm go, to help keep the farm going, but it's not really making you money, for example. But like I would rather not put all my egg in one basket like that.
the real money is made. I like the fact that you are patient.
No, I really am. If I'm being very honest with you, farming is not to just get in and make quick cash. You have to have like a 15 to maybe 25-year plan, because when you look at farming, you're looking at providing food for a nation, and that's a big task. It's just something you really have to, sit down and plan out.
Have you ever been in a situation where you have crops and there's no demand?
Yeah, all the time. There's something we have called crop rotation. And when you're doing the vegetables, especially fresh vegetables, very perishable vegetables, you're always encouraged to crop rotate because what's in demand now will not be in demand in the next 3 months.
Oh.
And also seasons keep on changing. Also.
That's why I prefer to have like how you call it? I prefer to have like livestock because I feel like because the vegetable, right? The I don't know how you say it, like the perishable date, is not that long, Like if you like having some vegetable, maybe you have like maybe 1-2 weeks, to like sell it. I don't even think it's that long, but that's what you need to sell it for people to consume it, So like from harvesting to the market, it should like take less than that time, for example, Both like livestock and animal stock also sometimes like I feel like it's much more easier, when it comes to that aspect, But chili. The reason I like chili, like for example, if you like pick the fresh chili, you don't sell everything, you can dry it and people still want to buy it, like the dry chili, but like, yeah.
So once the season changes, you need to change the crop also.
What are some of the problems you faced?
Definitely being in a hot country, number one is water. Water has been a big problem.
So sometimes you run out of water in your...
No, it's not that I don't have it, I don't have enough. I mean that in the sense of if I needed to expand, I need to drill another borehole.
Oh, really? And that's more money, more
That's
investment.
more money, more investment, yeah.
What's up, Piggy? Ooh, see this big one. Wow. How old are these ones?
She is about 2 years old.
2 years.
He is about a year old.
How much?
People from Uganda, they will know this, like Uganda farmers, like I feel like pigs really make money in Uganda, like I watched a video on YouTube of a guy who have a farm in Uganda, like raising pigs. and like every month I think it sells about like 300 million shillings per month, like that is like so crazy to think about. I'm gonna put the amount in US dollars right here.
How much do you think this pig is worth?
I'd say between maybe 4.5, 5,000. But take into account in terms of breeds, mine aren't pedigree.
You see like the price, like $370 for one of pig, like 370, so like if you sell like maybe like 30 or 40 pigs per week, that's a lot of bread, like that's a lot of bread, like people working on Wall Street, I don't even think they'll make as much money as you, but pigs, their feeds are very expensive, to like feed them to get this big is really expensive,
There are some purebred breeds that you can get, definitely. But this is just the normal big white.
Oh, okay, you have more pigs.
At the moment, I have about 31.
Ooh, this one just gave birth.
Come see.
They look so cute. Oh, sorry. Did you start everything at once, or you started with farming, then you moved into animals?
What I did basically was with my pigs, I only started with 3 males and a female. From there, I have 31. Also, all my cows and my chickens, I started at one point, I had 20. Then I bought an incubator, started doing my own eggs.
Are there some of the
That is actually good that you bought us incubator and make its own egg.
ways government helps you?
Yeah,
with
no,
this
they
stuff?
definitely help. They set up a thing where you can hire tractors. All you need to do is pay for the fuel.
Oh.
And they'll come and they'll plow for you.
Oh, wow.
And then if I was a Botswana, they would actually do it all for free. They would give me the seed and the tractor to come plow my land.
What would you say to like a lot of young people and they want to get into farming?
Do your research first and foremost. After you do your research, find out what you're willing to slave for. Because farming is a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights. That's it, yeah.
So how many times do you come to the farm? Is it something you just set up and you just left, or you're always here?
I come here every day.
Every single day?
Every single day.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, it is definitely.
So how do you chill? How do you relax? As a young guy now, you want to flex, you want to chill, you want to,
I chill on the farm.
enjoy
So being
yourself.
very honest with you, I'm very boring. When I'm not here, I'm doing my other businesses, and yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you feel like Botswana is a place where foreigners can come and start a business?
Yeah,
It's
definitely. The more the merrier.
I don't know, for some reason this country I just like it, I just like the vibe in Botswana, like it's like so crazy, but I just like Botswana,
expensive is it to acquire land here?
Well, it definitely depends on the area. In dollars, it would be between $80,000 and $120,000.
10 to 25 hectares for like 80 to 100,000.
That's a really wide range though, from like 80,000 to 120,000,
Yeah, and this is like out of town.
This like what I'm telling you, like so like for example like this guy, if you don't have the family that can put those kind of money down for you to buy the land, like what option do you have, like and you go start small, yes, and grow from there, but it's just easier for people to come to Europe and like work like 5 to 10 years, save a lot of money and go back home, but if you're not from a rich family like this guy, it's really difficult,
And then there are a few hot areas when it comes to farming in terms of the kind of soil that's available and the animals, because some animals do very well in the veld. You don't need to buy any feed. If you have a big farm, you can just graze and sell, that's it.
If you were given a chance to, from your point of view, change something about Africa, what would it be?
I would like maybe if our brothers could stop looking at the outside as the gateway to success. I don't think there's anything better than this land that we're in. It's literally the land of milk and honey. I feel like there's
It is true, like Africa is the land of milk and honey, right? But how you gonna make the milk, You need money to buy the cow, like you need capital to like make money, and the problem is like in most African countries like that access to capital is not there, like take for example, right? South Africa is like one of the most advanced country in the whole of Africa, right? But like somebody comment on once a month video, they say like if you buy a house, if you're taking a mortgage to buy a house, the interest rate is between like 10 to like 20%, That is like so crazy to think about, And if you, for example, like the interest rate to buy a house, like right now, even though the rate is high, like it will be between like 4 to like maybe 7%, and normally even drop lower than that, But right now the rates, they are also high, So like the access to capital is not there, like my point is like I don't like people shaming people who try to come to Europe, to make life better for themselves, I'm not defending people in Europe because I'm here, but like I know like what it's like living in Africa, I lived there myself, for a very long time, most of my family still live there, so I know what it's like, it's not easy for most people to just pull themselves up like that, like it's hard.
There's definitely a lot of room for improvement. If more people could come back and just work in that country with your people, it would be lovely.
Lots of people are watching this are inspired by your story. What's your advice to them generally?
Just grind it out and trust yourself, if I'm being very honest with you, and think long term always, so that you can be able to get something fruitful. Anything short term, trust me, it's not gonna work.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
Man, like I'm really so impressed by this guy. Even though at this young age, he still managed to achieve all these things. Like he seems level-headed. He seems like he know what he wants, and he seems really hardworking. Like that's really so good. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like it, comment down below. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.